As we step into 2025, none of us can predict with certainty what lies ahead. Will it be a year of groundbreaking change, or just another chapter in the long, recurring cycle of history? The truth is, life often repeats itself. Challenges, conflicts, and human nature remain strikingly constant. One thing is for sure, 2025 will bring its own share of obstacles. There will be moments of stress, political dysfunction, wars, plagues, and other disasters. But there will also be moments of joy, growth, and opportunity. This uncertainty is why it's so valuable to study history. As General Mattis, a lifelong Stoic and former Secretary of Defense, once said, "It's unconscionable to learn solely through trial and error when we can learn from the experiences of others." History, philosophy, biography, and even self-help books serve as windows into the wisdom and mistakes of those who've come before us. They allow us to navigate the future with a deeper understanding of how others faced adversity. In this unpredictable year, it would be wise to read books that prepare us for the challenges ahead. These books offer hard-won lessons from the past, lessons that can help us navigate the stormy waters of 2025 with resilience and clarity. Take, for example, the story of Charlie David, a remarkable 109-year-old man who shares his insights on living a full life. He reminds us that when you've lived through a century, your perspective on time shifts. What feels urgent to us today, this week, this month, has likely been happening for centuries. When we talk to those who've experienced history, like Charlie or my 94-year-old grandmother, we're reminded that humanity has endured much. From the Great Depression to World War II, from the Cold War to the Cuban Missile Crisis, these people lived through it all and emerged not only unscathed but wiser. They didn't dwell on how bad things were. They integrated the lessons of those experiences into their lives. Charlie once told me, when asked how he faced the trials of life, "At my age, you take it day by night." There's wisdom in that. So often, we're fixated on the smallest increments of time, forgetting the vast expanse of experience that stretches behind and ahead of us. In moments of difficulty, it's helpful to remember that others have faced much worse and have come out stronger on the other side. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wrote about the importance of studying the lives of others to enrich our own. It's about annexing their wisdom and integrating it into our own journey. This perspective is especially valuable when we face a year like 2025, filled with both challenges and opportunities. To do so, consider reading A Century of Wisdom, a book that brings together the insights of someone who has lived through it all. Another great read is Steve Magnus' Do Hard Things, which ties perfectly into Stoic philosophy. Seneca believed that treating the body rigorously was essential to training the mind, and Magnus' book dives deep into the science of resilience. We often think of toughness as something innate, but Magnus argues that resilience is cultivated through doing hard things, things we don't want to do, things that challenge us. This is exactly what Stoicism teaches us. By facing adversity head-on, we build the strength and fortitude needed to handle whatever life throws at us. 2025 won't be easy, but by building our mental and physical resilience today, we prepare ourselves for whatever comes next. For a more introspective journey, Sarah Bell's How to Live a Life of Montaigne offers valuable insight into self-awareness. Montaigne, a philosopher from the Renaissance, lived through a time of political and religious turmoil. Yet, instead of focusing on external chaos, he turned inward to understand himself. His self-reflection became his guide. In today's world, where we are overwhelmed with distractions and external noise, Montaigne's approach to quiet introspection feels more relevant than ever. As we navigate an increasingly volatile world, we must also cultivate humility, empathy, and open-mindedness, qualities Montaigne embodied and that we desperately need today. In the same spirit, my own book, The Daily Stoic, encourages a practice of daily reflection on Stoic principles, offering one page of wisdom per day. The power of this approach is in its consistency. Each day we reflect, learn, and grow. We don't need to master everything at once. Just like the Daily Stoic, you can slowly build your resilience, wisdom, and understanding one step at a time. As we move through 2025, it's crucial to remember that the challenges we face today are not new. The great minds of history faced similar struggles, and we can learn from their experiences. By reading and reflecting on the hard-earned wisdom of others, we equip ourselves with the tools needed to handle whatever the year brings. The key is to remain grounded, focused, and prepared, ready to turn every challenge into an opportunity for growth. In his incredible journey of survival through unimaginable suffering, Viktor Frankl's man's search for meaning reveals profound lessons that resonate deeply with Stoic philosophy. Frankl, who endured the horrors of 4 concentration camps, was forced to reimagine a book he had written before the war, one that was destroyed during his captivity. What emerged from that pain was a message of immense power. Although suffering is an unavoidable part of life, we always have the ability to find meaning in it. Frankl demonstrates that it is our response to suffering, not the suffering itself, that defines our experience. This theme is echoed in Edith Eger's beautiful memoir, where she builds on Frankl's teachings. Eger, a survivor of Auschwitz, emphasizes that while we can't control what happens to us, we always have the power to choose how we respond. This is the essence of the Stoic mindset. We are not defined by the circumstances we face, but by how we meet those challenges. Eger's wisdom offers us a powerful message. We must decide who we are going to be in the midst of adversity, choosing meaning over despair and growth over stagnation. Just like Epictetus, who found freedom within the physical chains of slavery, the great lesson here is that true freedom is an internal state. Epictetus himself, though a slave in ancient Rome, realized that no one could control his mind, even if they controlled his body. The real bondage isn't external but internal, the shackles we place on our minds through fear, desires, and dependencies. His profound teaching offers us a blueprint for inner liberation. Even in our most trying circumstances, we can find peace within ourselves, just as Frankl and Eger did. In this sense, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius is an invaluable companion. It's a reminder that true power doesn't lie in external circumstances, but in the way we choose to live. Marcus wrote these reflections not as a king, but as a man striving for virtue, wisdom, and peace. His teachings encourage us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our moral compass. It's not about avoiding the storm, but learning how to remain calm within it. Among these texts, we find an essential truth. Adversity is not an obstacle, but an opportunity for profound growth. Just as Marcus Aurelius faced countless challenges, so too can we grow stronger through our trials. Life doesn't always unfold as we hope, but we can choose to find purpose in it, to act with integrity, and to live by a code of virtue. For those seeking more inspiration on resilience, Julia Baird's Phosphorescence is a brilliant exploration of how hardship can illuminate the human spirit. Through adversity, we can shine brighter. Similarly, Grace, as explored in another remarkable book, teaches us the power of forgiveness, endurance, and understanding. It's about seeing the good in others, even when they've faltered. The story of the man who wrote Amazing Grace, a former slave trader turned abolitionist, encapsulates the transformative power of grace, the ability to see beyond someone's past to their potential for change. And let's not forget about Richard Reeves's Of Boys and Men, which speaks directly to the challenges faced by young men today. By understanding the struggles of this generation, we not only help them, but elevate society as a whole. The modern world is often divided, and as the dynamics shift, the emotional and social struggles of young men are at the heart of much of it. This book is a timely call for empathy, understanding, and action. Finally, as we look to the future, one of the most powerful things we can do is step back and reflect on history. Reading about the lives of great men and women, those who endured trials with grace, dignity, and purpose, gives us the perspective we need to understand our own moment in time. The lessons they left behind can guide us through our own struggles, providing wisdom and clarity as we navigate life's complexities. Sometimes, understanding the world around us requires stepping back and examining the past. A few years ago, I dove into a profound series by Taylor Branch that delves into the lives of the civil rights leaders, especially Martin Luther King Jr. This series didn't just help me understand America, both in its past and present, but also gave me valuable insights into the complexities of human nature. If you're looking to master yourself, this series is an essential read. The civil rights movement wasn't just about politics, it was about courage, maintaining composure under pressure, acting with bravery in the face of fear, and fighting for justice. These principles echo Stoic virtues: resilience in adversity, unwavering resolve, and strength of character. But this isn't just a historical account. It's a masterclass on political change, human psychology, forgiveness, growth, and how we evolve. It might take you the whole year to read, but if it were the only series you consumed, it would be a successful year of reading, without a doubt. Now, shifting gears to fiction. There's a book called It Can't Happen Here that I've found to be chillingly relevant. Written in 1935, it imagines a scenario where a democratic president rises to power and begins adopting fascist ideologies similar to those sweeping across Europe at the time. This book doesn't just tell a story, it serves as a warning about how political systems can shift in dangerous directions when people are desperate. The novel reveals the human tendency to overlook potential threats in times of social and economic crisis. This kind of dysfunction is exactly how fascism rises. People get caught up in the idea that a strong man can fix things by tearing down the old system and breaking all the rules. But this book shows us exactly what can go wrong when that happens. It's an eye-opening experience to read. This book, it's terrifying, inspiring, and above all, it challenges the way we think about society's current trajectory. As we watch tensions rise in the world today, it's easy to see parallels to the dysfunction that preceded the rise of fascism in Europe. We need to be aware of the forces at play in our own societies, forces that promise change but may come at the cost of our freedom and integrity. In the same vein, I recently revisited a book that has also left a deep mark on me: Cal Newport's deep work. Newport speaks to the importance of focus and slow productivity. In a world where we're constantly bombarded by distractions, this book offers a refreshing antidote. Newport argues that doing fewer things, yet doing them well, leads to greater success. The Stoics would agree. By focusing on what's essential and eliminating the rest, we achieve far more. This book isn't just about how to get things done. It's about doing the right things with purpose and precision. Speaking of essentialism, there's another powerful read I want to mention: The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Yes, it's a controversial choice, but it's one that we cannot afford to ignore. Some may shy away from it because of its reputation for being manipulative, but in truth, this book is a blueprint for understanding the dynamics of power in our world. The reality is that power is often won not through righteousness, but through strategy and competence. To ignore the mechanics of power is to leave oneself vulnerable to those who understand it all too well. Greene's book is not about glorifying power for its own sake. It's about understanding how it works so that we can avoid being manipulated or overwhelmed by those who wield it for ill purposes. We live in a time where understanding these forces is crucial. If we don't, we may find ourselves in a situation where, just like in It Can't Happen Here, those who understand power are the ones calling the shots, often to the detriment of society. Greene's laws are practical, grounded in real-world situations, and absolutely essential for anyone hoping to make a difference in today's world. Lastly, if you're looking for more to read, I have a collection of books I'd recommend, each one aimed at helping you navigate 2025 with more knowledge, more wisdom, and a stronger sense of purpose. These books have helped me through countless challenging years in my life, and I believe they can do the same for you. If you'd like, I even send out a monthly reading list full of recommendations that has been helping readers for over 15 years. No spam, just pure book love. You can find it at ranholiday.net/reading list. Reading these books will make 2025 a year to remember, and they'll help you stay grounded in a world that feels anything but stable.